Today, I'm going to be talking about Somewhere in Time. Greetings and welcome back. I'm your host, JJP. Somewhere in Time, we see Christopher Reeve return to the big screen, this time as a love-struck time traveller. So, let's revisit this classic, penned by the same man that penned the post-apocalyptic horror novel I Am Legend, Richard Matheson. But first, it's trivia time. How many film adaptations of I Am Legend have there been in total? Stay tuned to the end to find out. And if you're new to this channel and like what you see, please like and subscribe. I know it's an old film, but spoilers ahead, just in case you haven't gotten round to watching it yet. Somewhere in Time was released on the 31st of October 1980 and was directed by Jeannot Szwarc, who sadly passed away this year, and was written by Richard Matheson, based on his novel Bid Time Return. Cinematography was by Isidore Mankowski, with music composed by John Barry, who also composed music for some of the Bond movies like Goldfinger and Moonraker. Although filmed around the same time as Superman 2, Somewhere in Time would be released approximately 6 months earlier. This is a film about time travel, and I've always had a soft spot for films and TV shows that tackle that aspect of sci-fi and fantasy. However, the time travelling here doesn't require any form of time machine or DeLorean. Time travel is accomplished by use of self-hypnosis, or sheer willpower, which may be a bit of a disappointment to some. The film is first and foremost a romance set in 1912. The story begins with Richard Collier, a playwright played by Christopher Reeve, who is celebrating the success of his new play when he is approached by an old lady, played by Susan French, who hands him an old watch and asks that he return to her. Little does he know that he has just met the love of his life. Eventually, after doing some research on the old lady, he goes to her home to visit her, but is told that she passed away on the same night that she handed him the watch. This leads him to do some further research on her, and his research leads him to the Grand Hotel. Then, one night during his stay at the hotel, he visits a museum, and that's when he sees a portrait of a young Elise McKenna, played by Jane Seymour. Like his character in the film, this was Christopher Reeve's first time seeing the photograph, as he wanted to give a genuine reaction to seeing the portrait for the first time and being captured by her beauty. He then makes his mission to try and get to her, and through much effort and concentration, he manages the impossible and transports himself to 1912. After a few shenanigans, he eventually meets Elise in person. Unfortunately, he also meets a possessive W.F. Robinson, her manager, played beautifully by Christopher Plummer, whose interest in Elise seems to go beyond just being her manager and becomes a thorn in Richard's side. Eventually, Elise releases herself from the overbearing Robinson, and a romance blossoms until a tragedy strikes. I don't want to spoil too much here, as I generally believe this is a film worth watching and experiencing for yourself, so I'll leave it there. If memory serves, I might have been around 13 or 14 when I first watched this on the telly with my mother. I was a big fan of the Superman movies, and had a terrible crush on Jane Seymour since seeing her as Solitaire in 1973's Live and Let Die, starring Roger Moore in his first outing as James Bond. And I think I was in as much awe as Richard Collier was when he first sees a portrait of Elise McKenna. Heck, I wanted to time travel too. But, putting teenage crushes aside, the paradoxical story is very engaging, thus showing what a good writer Matheson was. The acting, as expected from Christopher Reeve, Jane Seymour and Christopher Plummer, was superb. And credit to Jean-Pierre Dolliac for the beautiful costume designs. Then we have the gorgeous and haunting score by John Barry, which is one of the most beautiful film scores I've ever heard, in my opinion. Now to answer the trivia question. I Am Legend has been adapted 3 times on film, starting with 1964's The Last Man on Earth, starring Vincent Price, followed by 1971's The Omega Man, starring Charlton Heston, and 2007's I Am Legend, starring Will Smith. Have you watched them? And if so, which adaptations do you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content. I've been JJP, and I look forward to discussing films and shows that we are all passionate about. Hope to see you soon.